At a life-changing brunch, my daughter revealed, "I'm done." Discover the unexpected bond we uncovered. The sun streamed through the kitchen window, casting a warm glow on the breakfast table, which was a burst of color with its vibrant flowers. The scent of fresh pancakes hung in the air, mingling with the strong aroma of coffee. Claire's small yet significant ways of making every day feel like a celebration. As a single mother juggling two demanding jobs, she poured her heart into everything, especially for her daughter, Lila. Her ambition was as endless as the golden stacks on the plate before them, each one a symbol of the love and effort Claire poured into their lives. As they sat down, Claire felt a swell of pride. Here, over brunch, they were supposed to dream about the future, discuss college aspirations, and celebrate Lila's hard work. But in the very moment she reached for the syrup, Lila's face crumpled. "I'm done," she cried, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears, each one a small storm, waiting to break free. The word struck Claire like lightning. Done? What did that even mean? She knew the pressures that came with being a high school senior, but Lila was supposed to thrive in this environment, not wilt under its weight. The cozy suburb of Atlanta, with its manicured lawns and gleaming rooftops, echoed with the successes of their neighbors, all reminders that hard work led to triumph. Yet here sat her daughter, a testament to ambition, now drowning in doubt. "What do you mean you're done?" Claire's voice quivered, thick with concern, swirling with the weight of expectations. Lila launched into a vulnerable tirade about sleepless nights studying, the anxiety of college recommendations, and the relentless backpack of dreams she'd been forced to carry, dreams that now felt like a boulder. Claire's heart shattered. She had worked herself to the bone to secure a better future, fearing every day for the affordability of college and how she would ever be able to support Lila through it all. Was this the success they sought? Fear crept in, a nagging whisper echoing that it wasn't just tuition weighing heavily on their shoulders. It was the invisible chains of a society that dictated success. Before they could even process the gravity of the moment, the community hit hard. A nearby factory closed, sending tremors through suburban lives, shaking them awake to harsh realities. Claire's already thin patience wore even thinner as she scrambled to secure an internship for Lila, fearing they may never be able to afford a prestigious university. In her desperation, she pushed while Lila pulled away, their once tight bond fraying with every word. The brunch, once a sacred space for connection, morphed into a battlefield, each dish significant in their quiet rebellion. Claire felt trapped, watching Lila's eyes glaze over with disappointment and resentment. Had she failed as a mother if her dreams didn't align with her child's? The thought pierced her deeper than any financial troubles ever could. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the table stood between them, their dreams sifted through their fingers, like sand. Would they define success together or let the tides pull them into separate directions? Claire knew she needed to listen, to understand what Lila was asking for, a different kind of freedom, perhaps. The air grew thick with confusion and unresolved feelings, leaving Claire with a chilling question: how would they rebuild that connection? In that moment of uncertainty, she realized their love could still be their greatest success, but could they find a way to reshape their dreams? As the storm brewed in Lila's heart, Claire held her breath, hoping their journey could still lead to that sunlit table, waiting for them on the other side. Lila sat back, her delicate fingers tracing the rim of her coffee cup, lost in thought. Claire watched her, heart aching at the sight of her daughter's shadows. The laughter and dreams they used to share felt like distant memories now, slipping through their hands, like syrup pouring off the edges of an empty plate. "Talk to me, Lila," Claire urged gently, her voice breaking the heavy silence. "What does 'I'm done' really mean for you? What are you thinking?" Lila glanced up, her expression softening as she met her mother's gaze. The fire in her eyes flickered, revealing the vulnerability beneath. "I don't know, Mom. It's just, everything feels too much. The grades, the pressure to be perfect, the expectations. Her voice trailed off as she fought the tears threatening to spill over. Claire felt a lump in her throat, a knot of helplessness. She wanted to protect Lila from the world, instinctively feeling that if she just tried harder, everything would settle back into place. But you're amazing, Lila. You've worked so hard. I believe in you. Each word held a weight, a desperate plea to reconnect, to remind her daughter of the sparkle that had once lit up her smile. But what if I don't want that life? What if I want to explore, find myself? Lila looked away, her voice barely above a whisper. What if I want to paint instead of prepare for calculus tests? The thought hit Claire like a punch to the gut. She had been so focused on the future scholarships, college acceptance letters, and career paths that she had forgotten the pure, untamed fire of creativity that had once driven her own youth. What if all Lila needed was a voice of her own? Why didn't you say this sooner? Claire asked, frustration bubbling up. I never meant to push you. I thought I was helping. Lila wiped a tear. You can't help me if you don't know what I need. The truth jolted Claire. A seed of self-awareness planted at the brunch began to bloom. Okay, Claire said, taking a deep breath. Help me understand. What do you want to do? Let us figure it out together. The determination in her voice soothed the moment, softening the sting of the earlier words. Maybe instead of college right away, I could take a gap year? Travel or volunteer? Lila's voice was tentative, but Claire could hear the thrill sparking beneath it. I want to learn about life, not just math and science. I want to find out who I really am. Claire held her daughter's gaze, richer than any future mapped out with grades and accolades. Something shifted in her chest. This wasn't about Lila conforming to preconceived dreams, this was about her embracing her own journey. We could make a plan, Claire said slowly, enthusiasm kindling in her heart. A plan to save up and travel. To explore the world and who you are. Lila's eyes widened. You'd be okay with that? Claire smiled softly. If it makes you happy, then absolutely. As they leaned closer, a lightness crept back into the air, stitching together the delicate threads of their relationship. The breakfast table, once heavy with unspoken words, now buzzed with possibility, but as they began to brainstorm ideas and dream aloud, Claire felt a shadow creeping in the fear of how society would perceive Lila's decision. Would people misunderstand her desire for a gap year as failure? Mom, are you there? Lila's voice broke through her thoughts. Claire looked up, locking eyes with her daughter. Yeah, I'm here. Just thinking. What are you scared of? Lila asked, her voice steady. Claire hesitated, heart racing. What if everyone thinks we're making a mistake? She feared the judgment, the whispers behind their backs. Who cares what they think? Lila replied boldly. Let us define our own success. As they shared ideas and visions, Claire felt the thrum of newfound hope resonating between them. What had once been a brunch built on expectations had transformed into a platform for liberation. But a question lingered in the back of Claire's mind. Would they truly stand firm against the storm brewing outside their bubble? One heart-stopping decision loomed large. Would they dare to push back against all the pressures surrounding honor and duty? As they crafted their dreams together, Claire felt both weight and courage coursing through her veins. Could they truly carve their path, or would the world steer them back into conformity? The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows as Claire felt a swell of discomfort. Just as they were finding their way, had they opened the door to a greater conflict? Claire leaned forward, caught between a surge of excitement and a pulse of fear. They had just opened a door to a new reality, yet Claire couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty. The world outside their bubble was relentless, filled with judgments and expectations. Could they face it together? Let us put together a list, Lila, Claire suggested, trying to ground herself amidst the whirlwind of thoughts. What places do you want to visit? What experiences should we look for? Lila's eyes brightened as she thought aloud. How about volunteering at an animal sanctuary? I've always wanted to work with wildlife. A beautiful smile crossed her face, the kind Claire hadn't seen in a while. Claire bit her lip, the warmth of Lila's enthusiasm pulling her close. And maybe we can go to that art retreat I heard about in Mexico? You could paint and explore the vibrant culture. Mexico! Lila exclaimed. Yes. The colors, the music. It would be incredible. The pair started tossing ideas like fireworks, each suggestion igniting a glimmer of hope and excitement. They scribbled things down on napkins, each scribble a promise: freedom, adventure, creativity. Claire could hardly believe the shift. The air pulsed with a rhythm of newfound possibility, but in the brightness of their plans, shadows loomed. Claire's heartbeat quickened as the dread returned. Lila, what if we do all this and it doesn't go as planned? What if that gap year it's a mistake? Lila set her coffee cup down gently, her eyes steady. Mom, having a gap year doesn't mean failure. It means growth. And growth is messy. We won't have to have it all figured out while we're living it. But what about your friends, Mom? This is my life. I have to explore it my way. The strength in Lila's voice was a balm, soothing the anxious knots in Claire's heart, but still, the second-guessing thrummed beneath the surface. What if Lila got lost in this journey? What if she came back a different person, one Claire didn't recognize? And what if we can't afford it? Claire voiced the worry that clouded her thoughts. We'll work together. I can find jobs, we can plan small, do it bit by bit. Lila's determination cut through the tension. Claire's heart, once constricted, began to loosen with each word. Okay, let's take it one step at a time. Claire drew in a breath, trying to reconcile her hopes with her fears. But if you ever feel unsure, promise me we'll talk. We won't let it get to a point where Lila interrupted, a teasing smile on her face. Mom, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to find my way, and I'll need your support, not your worry. Claire could only nod, a warmth spreading in her chest. Lila's unwavering spirit ignited a flicker of courage within her too. Maybe they could redefine success together, carve out their own path, and maybe, just maybe, turn the shadows into something beautiful. As they continued brainstorming, laughter punctured moments of seriousness, creating an easy rhythm between them. A phone buzzed on the table, pulling Claire's attention. It was a message from a family friend, asking for updates about Lila's plans. Claire's fingers brushed the screen, her heart pounding. She hesitated, the weight of expectations returning. Would she be able to share their dreams without cringing at judgment? Mom? Lila's voice was soft but insistent, cutting through Claire's swirling thoughts. Are we doing this together? Claire looked from the phone to her daughter, feeling the currents of their bond pulling her forward. Yes. Together. No matter what. And with that, they bonded over the shimmering dreams yet to come, two hearts stepping into an uncertain world. Just then, Claire remembered the email that had come in the morning about the local art exhibit. Lila, there's an art show this weekend. What do you think about going? It could be a great first step. Lila's eyes sparkled with intrigue, but Claire saw a flicker of something deeper there, a hint of apprehension. Would the pressure return by stepping back into the art scene? As they discussed plans, Claire felt a cautious thrill. They were entering a new chapter, but the looming question remained: would society's whispers extinguish their light, or would they discover strength in each other against the tide? And just like that, with excitement on the horizon, Claire's heart raced. Would they be prepared for what awaited them? As the weekend approached, Claire and Lila eagerly prepared for the art exhibit. An exciting mix of nerves and anticipation hung in the air. Claire rummaged through the closet, searching for the perfect outfit, while Lila flipped through her sketchbook, pencil in hand, eager to capture inspiration wherever she could. Mom, you have to wear that blue top. It looks amazing on you, Lila called out, her enthusiasm bubbling over. Claire turned, the hint of a smile playing on her lips. She couldn't help but feel a rush of affection for her daughter, who was bursting with energy and confidence. They got ready together, both a little giddy, trying to shake the remnants of worry lingering in Claire's heart. As they made their way to the venue, the streets buzzed with life, full of laughter, music, and the scent of fresh coffee wafting from nearby cafes. This is going to be awesome. Lila's voice rang out, her excitement contagious. Claire felt a flutter of hope. They were claiming this moment for themselves. But as soon as they stepped inside the exhibit, a wave of nostalgia washed over Claire. The walls were adorned with vibrant colors, each piece of art telling its own story. Lila drifted towards a canvas splashed with hues of orange and blue, her eyes reflecting their brilliance. Claire watched her, a mix of pride and fear clashing within. She wanted Lila to find her own voice, but the memories of her once vibrant artistic spirit seemed distant now, overshadowed by the pressure of the world outside. "Mom, come look," Lila called, her voice cutting through Claire's thoughts. She rushed over as Lila pointed at a piece depicting a tangled forest, raw emotions captured in brushstrokes. "This speaks to me. It's like it's alive." Claire nodded, feeling the connection Lila was forging with the art. It reminded her of Lila's childhood, when she'd spend hours painting in the backyard, completely absorbed in her imagination. Yet that imagination had often been dulled by the realities of growing up. "Let us take a picture by this one," Lila suggested. Claire smiled, wanting to capture this moment forever. They stood side by side, arms slung around each other's shoulders, a snapshot of resilience in a world demanding conformity. As they moved through the gallery, a familiar face caught Claire's attention: Mary, an old friend she hadn't seen in years. Her heart raced, memories flooding back of shared laughter and secrets, but also the burdens of unfulfilled expectations that had crept into their lives over time. "Claire! It's been ages," Mary exclaimed, her smile warm but weighed down by unspoken critiques. Claire remembered the conversations of their youth, the dreams once shared, now dimmed by adult fears. "You're here with Lila? Isn't it risky, her taking a gap year?" Mary's voice dropped, a hint of judgment tucked away in the question. It stung, igniting Claire's anxiety, the familiar thoughts swirling like leaves in autumn. "Actually, we're really excited about it. She needs to grow," Claire stammered, her heart racing. "It's just uncertain." Mary's reply carried a gravity that sank Claire's spirits. She watched Lila wandering away, stopped in front of another artwork, head tilted in contemplation. Would this path truly lead to fulfillment, or was uncertainty their real enemy? Shaking off the heaviness, Claire remembered Lila's words just days ago. "Mom, I need your support, not your worry." Gathering her fear into her chest, she turned back to Mary, forcing a smile. "Life is messy, and I think that's where the beauty is. Lila is going to thrive, even if it looks different." As soon as Claire spoke those words, a warm confidence began to swell within her. They would navigate this world together, even if it meant battling shadows of doubt. "Let us go find Lila," Claire said, gesturing toward the paintings swirling around them. With each step, she felt lighter, more resolute. As they rejoined Lila, Claire saw the beauty shining within her daughter, a light that refused to flicker. But just as she thought they were overcoming the heaviness of the outside world, Lila turned with a newfound intensity, her eyes filled with determination and uncertainty. "Mom, I have something important to tell you," Lila said, her voice steady but laced with emotion. Claire's heart raced. What could this mean? The truth was on the tip of Lila's tongue, and Claire braced herself for whatever was coming next. Would it be the catalyst for change, or would it reveal deeper fears? In that moment, as the buzz of the exhibit faded into the background, Claire knew their journey was reaching a critical juncture and the air was thick with expectation. Lila took a deep breath, eyes locked onto Claire's. The noise around them dimmed, vibrant colors and jubilant chatter fading into a soft blur, leaving only the two of them suspended in anticipation. "Mom, I've been thinking a lot about what I want," Lila started, her fingers tapping nervously against her sketchbook. Claire's heart thudded in her chest, a mixture of anxiety and excitement. "You mean about your gap year, right?" Claire prodded gently. The fear of the unknown loomed large, but she wanted to make sure Lila felt supported, that their bond wouldn't fray at the seams of uncertainty. "No, not just the gap year. I mean everything. Lila paused, searching her mother's face for understanding. I love art, but I don't want to just chase someone else's idea of what it should look like. I'm done painting to please others. The weight of Lila's words settled around them like a thick fog, stirring emotions Claire wasn't prepared for. It was a declaration, clear and unyielding. What do you mean, done? I mean I want to create something new. Something for me, not for school, not for others to critique. Just me. There was a quiver in Lila's voice, but her eyes shone brightly, alive with a fierce determination. Claire could feel the heat pricking at the corners of her eyes. This was a moment of truth, filled with potential yet shrouded in fear. You're so talented, sweetie. What if Lila shook her head, cutting off Claire's worry. I know what you're afraid of. But it's not just about talent anymore. It's about who I am. I want to rediscover my art. Claire took a deep breath, the tug of nostalgia hitting her like a wave. She thought of Lila drawing in the backyard, her innocent joy untouched by the harshness of the world. Then what do you envision? What does rediscovering mean for you? I want to paint more than just flowers and landscapes. I want to explore real emotions and experiences, maybe even dive into digital art. Lila smiled shyly, but there was an underlying thrill in her voice. And I want your help. I want us to create things together, not just meet expectations. The notion of painting alongside Lila, guiding her while allowing their creativity to intermingle felt like a gift Claire desperately needed. She had lost her own passion somewhere along the way, caught up in the fears of adulthood. I'd love that. I really would, Claire said, her heart swelling that a shy grin spread across Lila's face. I thought I'd have to convince you, but I'm so glad you're on board. Suddenly, the sounds of the exhibit returned, people chatting, music strumming in the background. Like a signal, Claire grasped Lila's hand, the warmth grounding her. No more worries, right? Just your plans, your vision, our adventure. Let us embrace this. Lila's nod felt like the final piece falling into place. Exactly. But there's one more thing. Claire felt the tension stir again. What is it? I want us to showcase our work in a little exhibition of our own, Lila said, her voice a mix of eagerness and vulnerability. It would be a celebration, not just for art, but for finding our voices. An exhibition? Just us? Claire sensed a pulse of excitement in her chest, but her thoughts danced again with uncertainty. Yeah. We could sketch and share stories behind each piece. It could be really special, Mom. Lila's confidence beamed brightly, illuminating Claire's worries like a flickering candle in the dark. Wow, Lila, that's big, Claire admitted, her heart racing. What do you think? Are you in? The challenge sat in the air between them, a determination to not just survive but to thrive. Claire's heart warmed with the thought of working together. I am, but it's going to be a lot, too, you know. I want us to be brave, together, Lila said firmly. As they stood among the swirling colors of creativity, Claire felt a stirring within her, a longing to break free from the mundane and reclaim the artist she once was. It dawned on her that this journey was as much about her growth as it was about Lila's. But just as resolve filled her, Claire hesitated. Okay, but what if we fail? Lila took a step closer, their faces inches apart. That's just part of it. We can't let the fear of failure stop us from trying. It's time for both of us to redefine what art means. Claire's heart trembled at her daughter's confidence. The air around them vibrated with possibility. What awaited them was uncharted territory. As they turned away from the gallery's vibrant walls, a flicker of doubt lingered within Claire. Was she truly ready for this leap? Or would this be the beginning of something extraordinary? With tangled emotions still swirling in her mind, Claire realized this was only the start of their journey together. What revelations lay ahead as they prepared to showcase their hearts? The crisp morning air welcomed them as they stepped outside the gallery. Lila's excitement bubbled like a freshly opened soda, her usual shyness replaced by a vibrant energy. Claire felt that same buzz coursing through her, as if her own long-dormant creativity had been jolted awake. "Mom, we should get started right away," Lila exclaimed, her eyes gleaming with ideas. "We can brainstorm themes, techniques, everything." Claire smiled, exhilarated by Lila's enthusiasm but equally overwhelmed by the prospect. "How about we grab some coffee at that little cafe nearby? We can lay out our ideas over brunch. Much more inspiration." With a quick nod, Lila bounced ahead, her laughter ringing through the serene morning. Claire followed, heart racing with both anticipation and fear of what this journey might hold. They reached the cafe, a cozy spot with small round tables and wall art painted by local artists. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, comforting yet invigorating. Settling into their seats, Lila pulled out her sketchbook, flipping through pages of ideas that stirred something deep within Claire. Each page was alive, bursting with color and emotion. It reminded her of Lila's first forays into art, scribbles of flowers and sunsets. But now, it seemed so much more. "What do you think about exploring themes of identity?" Lila asked, her finger brushing over a colorful doodle. "Like the changes we've both gone through?" "That's brilliant," Claire replied, her heart swelling with pride. "We've both had our identities shaped by so many different experiences, both of us trying to fit into certain molds." "Yes. What if we each painted what we felt defined us at various stages of our lives? Channeling the real moments, not just what we think we should present." Lila leaned forward, eyes wide with eagerness, her passion infectious. Claire nodded, excitement bubbling in her chest. The idea felt liberating. "And we could intertwine our stories, mix our mediums, make it a collaborative venture." Their conversation flowed like a river, carrying along dreams and fears alike. Lila sketched as they spoke, creating rough drafts while Claire shared bits of her past that shaped who she was today. The warmth of their connection enveloped them, like the rising sun pouring through the cafe windows, yet, amidst the laughter and creative sparks, Claire felt the flicker of doubt edged in. "But, Lila, what if we pour ourselves into this and it's not good enough? What if people don't understand?" Lila paused, gaze piercing through Claire's uncertainty. "Mom, isn't that part of rediscovering ourselves? Art is about vulnerability. If we don't take the risk to share who we are, we stay stuck." Claire's heart sank, intertwined with unease. What if Lila was right? What if they risked more than just their art? What if this affected their relationship? Before Claire could respond, the waiter appeared, placing steaming cups of coffee in front of them, breaking the moment. The scent of rich coffee filled their senses, grounding Claire. "Okay, so we've got our theme," Lila said brightly after a sip. "But how do we make it a celebration? How do we show our voices, Mom?" Claire took a deep breath, the warmth of the coffee slowly easing her tension. "Maybe we could invite others to share their stories too when we showcase our work. A community event?" Yes. Yes. It would be amazing. Like a big family through art." Lila's smile widened, eyes alight with creativity. As they sat exchanging ideas, Claire felt the heaviness of doubt melt a little more. Perhaps she could embrace this unique venture. It was a chance to not just assist Lila but to rediscover herself in the process. But still, there lingered a knot of fear deep in her gut. With each word exchanged, Claire realized they were not merely planning an exhibition, they were capturing a moment of transformation that would ripple through their lives. Yet, a question festered. Could they truly bear the emotional weight of putting their raw truths on display for the world to see? "Mom, are you ready for this?" Lila asked, tipping her head, a knowing glow in her eyes. A shaky breath escaped Claire as she pondered the depth of what this journey would demand of them. It was a leap of faith, not just in art, but in each other. Suddenly, a knock on the table jolted her from her thoughts. A stranger behind them had asked if they were artists too. The unexpected question hung in the air like an unturned page, leading to something new. "Are we artists?" Claire repeated softly, glancing at Lila and finding little pieces of clarity swelling within her heart, but that uncertainty still clouded her mind. The moment lingered as she realized the journey was just beginning. Would they find the courage together? And who else might they inspire along the way? Lila's eyes sparkled with excitement as she asked the stranger. Yes. We are. Well, sort of. We're working on this big project about identity. It's all about art and our stories. The stranger, a cheerful woman with a bright scarf and a warm smile, leaned in closer. That sounds wonderful. Everyone has a story, don't they? Art is such a powerful way to express who we truly are. Claire felt a lightness return for a moment. Lila was connecting, her passion contagious. Yes, we think it's a way to bring people together. To inspire others to share their truths too. Absolutely. The woman nodded enthusiastically. I've always believed that art can break barriers. I'd love to see what you create. What's the first step? Lila turned to Claire, her excitement palpable. We need to brainstorm our individual pieces. A real deep dive into our lives. That's how we'll make it personal, right? Right, Claire replied, her heart racing at the thought. The stranger's enthusiasm was like an anchor, grounding her fear. She could see potential unfolding. So Lila, how do you want to start? Maybe we can do a timeline? Lila suggested, her mind already racing ahead. We can represent important moments in our lives with images and colors that reflect our feelings then. What about our childhood? Claire added, a hint of nostalgia creeping into her voice. Those memories shaped us. I remember the colors I used to love back then. What about you? I loved purple. It was so magical to me. Lila laughed, flipping through her sketchbook. And the crazy doodles we made during art class. I want to channel that freedom in my piece. The stranger listened, her eyes sparkling with inspiration. You both sound like you're onto something special. Remember to make it authentic. That's what will resonate with others. Claire felt a stirring within her. What if they could really make this happen? Sharing this journey felt like a wave of hope crashing onto the shore of their relationship. What if we also included a section for others to contribute? Like an interactive piece where visitors can add their stories? Lila's eyes widened. That's an amazing idea, Mom. We can set up a community board, and everyone can paint or write something that's meaningful to them. As they continued brainstorming, Claire felt the warmth of their connection growing stronger. Each idea was like a thread weaving them together, forming a beautiful tapestry of shared experiences. Yet, as excitement soared, a quiet voice whispered inside Claire's mind. What if they weren't the only ones struggling? What if, in exposing their vulnerabilities, they opened a door to others who felt the same fear? Do you really think people will be open to sharing their stories? Claire asked hesitantly, meeting Lila's gaze. Of course, Mom. Lila replied with absolute confidence. Art is powerful. It brings us together, no matter our age or background. Who wouldn't want to share what matters to them? At that moment, the warmth of the cafe felt even more inviting. Claire glanced around at the patrons, each person with their own untold story simmering beneath the surface. The weight of her own doubts lightened a little. Okay, she said slowly, feeling a shift within herself. We can start aiming for something bigger than we imagined. Let us make this project a true community showcase. Yay! I can't wait. Lila beamed, her excitement reaching new heights. But, Mom, we need to be brave. We have to put our hearts out there, remember? Claire nodded, her heart pounding with both fear and anticipation. Would she be brave enough? As Lila sketched a symbol of their shared journey, Claire glanced at her daughter. Seeing her confidence rekindled Claire's own. But just as they began to articulate their plans aloud, the cafe's door swung open, and a gust of cold air rushed in. A familiar figure stepped inside, a man Claire hadn't seen in years. Each step felt like a heartbeat, bringing with it a flood of memories Claire thought she'd buried. Her stomach twisted, and Lila noticed. Mom? What's wrong? Claire looked at Lila, unsure of what to say, her pulse racing. The barrier between her past and present seemed to blur in that moment. Would this encounter change everything for her? Before she could speak, the man caught sight of her, and their eyes locked, piercing and profound. "Claire," he called, voice unsteady, pulling her into an unexpected crossroads. In an instant, all thoughts of art, community, and discovery faded to the background. What would this mean for them now? Lila's gaze flicked between Claire and the stranger, confusion clouding her excitement. The warmth of the cafe, once a cocoon of comfort, now felt heavy and dense around them. Claire's heart was racing, caught in the grip of memories she thought were long gone. "What is going on, Mom?" Lila asked, her voice thin with concern. "Just, give me a second," Claire managed, trying to process the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside her. She knew Lila deserved her full attention, but how could she focus when the past was crashing down on her? The man who had walked in was Alex, her first love and the last person she had shared her heart with so many years ago. A lifetime of decisions, mistakes, and silent regrets filled the space between them. Did he even know about the life she had built without him? "Is that really you?" Claire finally whispered, her voice trembling as she took a step forward. Inside her, the echoes of old dreams fought against the reality of the present. "Yeah, it's me," Alex replied, eyes wide with surprise. There was a hint of nostalgia in his voice, the kind only time and distance create. "I didn't expect to see you here." Lila glanced at Claire, then back at Alex, catching the undercurrents of their history without fully understanding. "Mom? Do you know him?" Yes," Claire replied, feeling the weight of the truth pressing down on her. "We used to we were very close." "Close?" Lila questioned, curiosity peeking in her eyes. "What's the matter, Claire?" "You're looking a bit pale," Alex said lightly, trying to introduce a comfortable atmosphere. The casualness of his tone clashed with the urgency Claire felt. "It's just," Claire started, but the words caught in her throat. "How do you explain a lifetime to your child in one breath?" "I didn't expect to see you here." "It's been a long time." "Too long," he said, assessing her with a softness that both warmed and unnerved her. "You look happy." "Thanks," Claire replied, but the word felt brittle. She wanted to tell him about Lila, about everything, the ups, the downs, the battles won and lost. But the words wouldn't come. The cafe seemed to fade away as the moment stretched. Lila, sensing the tension, shifted her weight from one foot to the other. This was no longer about their art project. It was much more complex. "Mom, can we go?" Lila finally said, breaking the silence. Claire could see her daughter struggling to understand the emotions muddling the air. "We have a project to work on." I just need a minute," Claire replied, her voice barely above a whisper. She didn't want to leave things as they were, but did she really have the strength to open this door again? "I could," Alex began, but Claire cut him off. "No," she said firmly. "You don't know what it would mean for me or for her." "Mom, please." Lila insisted gently, a softness breaking through her earlier confusion. "I need you with me." Guilt surged through Claire. She was torn between the past and the present, between a conversation left unsaid and a future she desperately wanted to shape for Lila. With a shaky breath, Claire turned back to Lila, who was watching her closely. "You're right. Let us go work on our project." Lila smiled lightly, relief washing over her. "Okay. Let us find a way to include our stories even through hard times." Turning slowly, Claire stole one last glance at Alex, who looked conflicted but understanding. As they stepped outside, Lila's presence grounded Claire, pulling her back to the moment. "Will you tell me more about why you were so close?" Lila asked, her curious nature urging Claire to open up in a way she had not planned. "Maybe," she replied, shaking off the memories that had surged too quickly. "When the time is right." Walking away from the cafe, Claire felt the weight of unknown questions in her heart, both about her past and about the future. Would she ever share that piece of her life with Lila? Would their art project pull some of those threads together into something beautiful? As they headed to the car, Claire's mind raced. There were so many layers to explore, reconciliations yet to be made. And what of Alex? Would he seek her out again? They could either be a distraction, or the key to discovering something vital Claire hadn't wanted to face. Undefined horizons stretched before them, begging for exploration. Would they embrace the uncertainty, or shy away from the truths waiting to be uncovered? Lila climbed into the car, her eyes still shining with the remnants of the cafe's warmth and excitement. Claire slid into the driver's seat, the engine rumbling to life beneath her hands, but her mind was a cacophony of thoughts. Mom? Lila began as Claire pulled away from the curb. Are you really okay? The question hung in the air, heavy with concern. Claire glanced sideways at her daughter, absorbing the open innocence in her expression. I'm fine, sweetheart. Just caught off guard. You know how it is when you run into someone from the past. Is it really that simple? Lila asked, her voice soft yet probing, pressing against the tightly wound strings of Claire's heart. What if I want to know more? About you and him? The phrasing struck Claire. Him. That single word held the weight of so many lost moments, so many unspoken feelings. It's complicated, Claire said, seeking a gentle but truthful way to navigate Lila's curiosity. There's a lot to unpack. Some things are better left in the past. Like what? Lila pressed on. The determination in her voice was reassuring, and Claire marveled at her daughter's fierce spirit even in the face of something so personal. It's about choices and timing. We all have people who shape us in some way. Claire found her grip on the steering wheel tightening, the road ahead a blur as foggy memories washed over her. What did he mean by you look happy? Lila asked, her eyes darting back to Claire, sensing the poignant edge to her mother's tone. Claire took a deep breath, searching for the right words. I've built a life, Lila. One I love with you in it. But that doesn't mean there wasn't something special about my past. Sometimes you can feel happy and confused at the same time. Lila nodded slowly, digesting the complexity of what her mom was trying to communicate. So, he isn't part of your life now, right? Claire wanted to yell, to scream that he was a ghost from another life, but the truth was more layered than that. Right. But people come back for a reason, Lila. Maybe he does want to be part of something again, my past or even my future. But why now? Timing can be strange, Claire replied, her voice low. Life moves in circles, I guess. Silence filled the car as they drove past familiar landmarks. Lila was processing, Claire could tell. Can I ask you something? Lila shifted in her seat, her curiosity rekindling. Of course. If you could talk to him, what would you say? The question laid bare the challenge Claire had been consciously avoiding. I'd tell him about you, that he missed out on knowing the amazing person you are. A small smile broke across Lila's face, and Claire's heart swelled with an unexpected warmth. That's really sweet, Mom. But do you think he feels that way? I don't know, Claire admitted, feeling the weight of her own uncertainty. But I think he might wish he knew what happened. A part of Claire wanted to dive deeper into this conversation, to explore the feelings that leaped up at the mention of Alex. Yet another part of her pushed back, afraid to crack open old wounds. What do you think he'd say? Lila asked, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. Claire stole a quick glance at her daughter, catching the way genuine interest ignited her features. He might say he's sorry. But I won't know unless he reaches out again. What if he does? Lila's question held a dual edge. Excitement and worry mixed as Claire contemplated the possibilities. It would depend on what that means for us, how it would impact our life together. The car pulled into the driveway, but Claire's heart raced ahead of them, the echoes of the past intertwining with the present fears and hopes. Lila was upbeat, almost playful, as they unpacked their art supplies, but Claire felt an undercurrent of tension thrumming beneath her skin. They settled inside the home filled with the scent of afternoon light and scattered projects. Let's get to work, Lila said brightly. And maybe tomorrow, can we drive by the cafe again? Just in case? Claire's heart sank, the hope in her daughter's voice both sweet and painful. I don't know, Lila. Maybe what was she promising? Would she truly face Alex again? Would the memories collide with the lives they each crafted? The uncertainty hung heavily, swelling against Claire. With a deep breath, Claire picked up her paintbrush, but her thoughts were elsewhere, poised on the edge of choices yet to be made. Would Alex reach for them once more? What would that moment feel like, and could they emerge unscathed? The questions loomed as Claire pressed the brush against the canvas, each stroke igniting the vivid colors of emotions she hadn't dared to explore. A life of unknown possibilities lay waiting, echoing the whispers of her heart. And in the quiet that followed, she felt the familiar pull of time, urging her to confront the past. What awaited them next would either bind them tighter or unravel the threads that held them together. The sun cast a gentle glow as Claire and Lila sat at the kitchen table, brushes and canvases surrounding them. The atmosphere, once fraught with tension, now hummed with potential. Claire watched Lila move with passion, each stroke on her canvas a testament to the journey they began together. The vibrant colors sang of their dreams and fears, intricately woven into the fabric of their shared story. Mom, look! Lila said excitedly, holding up her painting. It was a swirling mass of colors, representing the confusion she felt but also the spark of hope igniting within her. Claire smiled, her heart swelling. It's beautiful, Lila. It captures everything we've talked about, the messiness and the joy. Feeling a warmth spread in her chest, Claire grabbed her brush and joined in, the need to share her own voice pushing through the shroud of doubt. With every stroke she took, she poured out the essence of her past, the dreams she had set aside in the name of responsibility, and the journey she wanted to embrace alongside Lila. Their canvases became mirrors reflecting their intertwined souls, each piece telling a story, full of raw emotion. Suddenly, Claire's phone buzzed on the table, an unexpected message. With its arrival, her heart raced, the familiar dread settling in. The sender was Alex. A simple line that read, "I hope you're well, thinking of you." A political pang throbbed deep inside her. No longer did she want regret to dictate her life or hold her back from accepting the future. You okay, Mom? Lila's gentle inquiry pulled Claire from her thoughts. Claire hesitated, heart pounding. She decided in that moment to embrace vulnerability. It's just a message from someone I used to know. It made me reflect on what I want. Like what? Lila nudged, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Taking a deep breath, Claire found her voice. I want to be brave, Lila. Just like you are. I want to embrace my past but also look forward to our future. Does that mean reaching out to him? Lila asked, her voice teetering on excitement and apprehension. Yes, it does. But I want to do it on my own terms. Not to go back, but to be honest about where I stand now. Lila beamed, the confidence radiating from her illuminating the dim corners of Claire's heart. So, what's the plan? With every brushstroke that followed, Claire and Lila continued to connect deeper than ever before, the tenderness of their relationship intertwining through art. Morning melted into afternoon, their voices mingling with laughter, creativity, and newfound hope. As the last hues faded off their canvases, Claire felt a burst of inspiration. Let us commit to showcasing our work sooner rather than later. It'll be a way to celebrate our stories, get the community involved. We can build an experience around it. Lila's eyes sparkled, happiness flooding her features. Yes. A celebration of all journeys and voices. Including Alex's if he becomes a part of ours. It would show reconciliation too, right? Yes, that's exactly what I want to reflect. Claire felt a monumental shift within her. With determination wrapped around them, they set a date for their exhibition, Voices of Us. Days slipped into weeks, and with every moment Claire spent painting with Lila, her anxieties about Alex drifted further away. Their canvases filled with light, laughter, and genuine expression. By the launch date, Claire felt empowered, ready not only to confront her past but to truly live in the present with her daughter. The day of the exhibition arrived, and Claire stood at the entrance, heart racing. Lila was nearby, chatting with guests, her vibrant energy drawing people in effortlessly. As strangers strolled through the gallery, smiles lit their faces upon seeing the array of stories depicted through the art on display. When Claire caught sight of her finished piece, a wave of pride washed over her. It was a reflection of her journey as vibrant and tumultuous as the world around her. Unexpectedly, she spotted Alex, his tall frame familiar yet distant. Their gazes met, and a flurry of emotions rushed through Claire. She had come too far to shy away now. "Hey," Claire said, closing the gap. "Hey," Alex replied, a hint of surprise colored his tone. "I'm glad I came. I wanted to share this moment with you to show you who I am now." "And who is that?" Alex inquired softly, genuine curiosity igniting the space between them. "I'm Claire, a mother, an artist, and someone learning to embrace all the pieces of who I am. Lila's my world, she's shown me how to be brave." Alex's expression softened, understanding dawning as he looked to Lila, whose energy lit up the room. "You've done a remarkable job." "Thank you," Claire replied, pride swelling within her. "We both have. And we'll continue to create beauty together." With that simple statement, something shifted, an unspoken acknowledgement that the past had shaped them but would no longer define them. They would forge ahead, not alone but together, embracing their journeys as they came. As Claire turned back to the gallery, a wave of warmth enveloped her heart. Lila stood beside Claire, her unwavering spirit a beacon of hope. This was their moment, no regrets, only triumph. The exhibition buzzed with laughter, shared stories, and newfound connections, and Claire realized they had begun to rewrite the narrative of their lives, weaving an even stronger bond. In that vibrant gallery, with the world surrounding them, Claire felt a rush of gratitude sweep over her. They had navigated storms, battled fears, and emerged with resilience. And as they celebrated their stories, laughter echoed all around, a harmonization of art, love, and hope. "Mom, can we do this every year?" Lila asked, bursting with excitement. "Absolutely. This will only be the first of many." Together, they carved a path of authenticity, forging a legacy that intertwined not only their stories but those of everyone willing to embrace the beauty of being real. And in that embrace, in that vibrant gallery alive with possibility, Claire knew she would never retreat back into the shadows. Instead, she would celebrate the light, one brushstroke at a time. Now's the moment for you to be part of this journey. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire and transform. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm that helps us grow together. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending. It truly means the world to us. And don't wait not even one more second to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. It's time to spread the love. Let us continue capturing hearts and stories together.